6.25-mile run. Why do some people look so cute when they run? I mean, I've got my...
Move! It's Black History Month!
It's finally Black History Month. Okay, don't look at that calendar right there. You know, I'm just a tiny, teensy bit, not late. Still in February. But hey, better late than never. Anyway, it's Black History Month. And you guys, everyone knows what that means. Another month of people misinterpreting the meaning. My favorite. People tend to call it a political move, but there's so much more value and thought put into it, which is why I'm here. Black History Month is an annual celebration of African American achievements and a time to recognize their central role in U.S. history. Today it is known as African American History Month. That's like the full title. Today it is known as African American History Month. This event has deep roots that trace back to the vision of historian Carter G. Woodson. The story begins in the summer of 1915 when Woodson traveled to Chicago to participate in a national celebration of the 50th anniversary of emancipation. Thousands of African Americans from across the country gathered to see exhibits showcasing the progress made since the end of slavery. Inspired by this event, Woodson, along with A.L. Jackson and 3 others, formed the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History at the Wabash YMCA on September 9, 1915. This organization was dedicated to promoting the study of Black history and culture. In 1926, the ASNLH launched Negro History Week, choosing the second week of February to honor the birthdays of Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass! These 2 figures played pivotal roles in Black history. Woodson's intention was traditional and reformative to celebrate Black achievements and, listen to this guys, to inspire future generations through education. Over time, the week became prominent and was officially expanded to Black History Month in 1976. President Gerald Ford recognized the month during the U.S.'s 200th anniversary, urging Americans to seize the opportunity to honor the too often neglected accomplishments of Black Americans in every endeavor throughout our history. Since then, every U.S. president has designated February as Black History Month. The celebration has also spread internationally, with countries like Canada and the United Kingdom dedicating months of honoring Black history. Although it's in October. Now let's talk about BHM in today's society. Nowadays it's seen more as a joke or more commonly as a meme. These are just a couple examples, but it fulfills the original purpose to the minimum. Yes, people know all about it, but what do they actually learn? Like from back in my high school, you just got to see like a bunch of posters or whatever talk about them, but like that was it. It was just decoration. And let's be honest, no student was going to pay attention to that. These are just basic facts you kind of learn through existing, like MLK and the Civil Rights Movement. I've talked to a couple of people in my generation, many non-Black Americans and some Black Americans don't see the point or reason of why we have a BHM. Dive into some Reddit posts. Whoa, I know, scary. We'll check out an old post from 11 years ago, still kind of a relevant question, from the subreddit r/change my mind. I believe Black History Month is unnecessary and should not be officially recognized. There is no denying the contribution and sacrifices Black people have made to building society in the countries that celebrate BHM. However, Black people are, and have been for a while, subject to exactly the same laws as all other nationalities. I'm not saying that their troublesome past should not be taught. I simply believe that elevating a race and celebrating their achievements for a period of time, no matter what they may have went through in the past, is unfair in a society that supposedly perpetuates all races as equal. I would take my argument further and say that any race-specific services, with the exception of those that provide psychological services, health, beauty, etc., should be illegal, as they further serve to segregate that race. However, that's a side note, and the main point of discussion is BHM. Because these two, they're the 2 most popular applies of anything. So I'll go this guy first. Most people think that they can avoid racism logically by making the conscious decision to not discriminate, and most of the time this is enough. But there was a study done that showed that almost everyone, including many who were not consciously racist, and even people with racial minorities, still had negative stereotypes sort of burned into their brain due to cultural influence. And it showed when they had to make a split-second decision without thinking, even if they were told that they had an unconscious racial bias, they were not able to get different results. You know what was able to influence the test results? If they watched the Olympics, seeing all the great achievements by people of every race worked against their subconscious racial bias. That's why we need Black History Month, to even out positive exposure in our culture, to prevent subconscious racial biases from forming, and working to fix them even if they are already in place. But yes, I kind of agree with this notion. Talking about how, yeah, a lot of people are subconsciously racist, even if you don't think it. It's ingrained into our society. It's gonna happen. Let's be honest, we're all a bit subconsciously racist. Now this other post. Black History Month isn't about elevating black folks, and that's where this goes wrong. It's only about recognizing the marginalized and oppressed group of people who continue to feel the legacy of formal systems of racism. The whole idea of BHM is to make sure that black people's plight is not forgotten so that we can eventually get to the point that you're talking about. Namely, where all races are equal, and we don't have to set aside time to talk about anyone in particular. It doesn't logically make sense to say that. The way they get there is pretend we're already there. You know. The way to solve racism is by talking about it, owning it, reversing the bad policies, setting up good ones, and all things of this nature. That's exactly the kind of positive action that BHM is designed to encourage. If you believe that the troublesome past should be taught, then you are in favor of Black History Month, because that's all it does, with one exception. It doesn't pretend that only the past is troublesome. I mean, if we're talking about bad policies, what about the DEI? I know my fellow brothers and sisters, some of them, most of them, did not vote for the orange man. I'm not gonna get all political here. Or I will, because that's what we're talking about. Yeah, this is kind of stupid. I don't know why people don't take him at face value, but regardless, talking about bad policies, that is most certainly one of them. Didn't really affect us, though. Getting back to it, one more reply we're talking about in this post. As a white person, I spent years of my life learning about white men from a white man's perspective. Black History Month, Black History books, Black TV specials, Black film directors, and Black History museums all play a part in refocusing the worldview of all of us. When the day comes that a black kid can get the same opportunity a white kid can everywhere, then let's discuss the topic again, concerning racism in the USA today. Original poster. Did you see the Daily Show interview with that hick representative from North Carolina? People like that this racist piece of dip are being voted into office. We are not ready as people to abandon programs that change our convention, wisdom into enlightenment. Equality of all men and women is possible, but the world is an intentionally ignorant place. It is your duty to reinforce this equality in your own mind and communicate it to others. If the meaning of life is to leave the universe a better place than you found it, then promoting equality within species must be pretty high up in the chain of good things to do. Yeah, and that's cool. I mean, people do understand. Some people do understand. And not even understand the history of where it came from, they understand the importance of it. But let's talk about this edit. This man came back to the post after reading some of the replies. I agree with all those who suggest that Black History Month teaches about a culture and history that's otherwise largely overshadowed by an education focused on European and American matters. However, my trifle with this is that it's not a multicultural event. Its sole focus is on black people. Why not expand to other ethnicities? That was the first edit. This is the second edit. I've been introduced to the fact that other months for other ethnicities actually exist. While they seem to be relatively humble in their celebration and focus, especially in the UK, considering this is a social arrangement, in my opinion, is gradually being swayed. Now, we're gonna get a bit more recent here. A lot more recent. This one's from a year ago. This is a much smaller post. It gets the job done. People will get their point across how they feel. Now, it's very simple. What does Black History Month mean to you? Very simple. Here we go. Just another excuse to get people to internalize identity politics. It means turning NPR off for a month. At the risk of summoning the banhammer, I don't give a single solitary duck about it. F all. It means I get to listen to the whiniest, most insufferable people complain about it all month long. It gives me a chance to really take time to appreciate other cultures and learn about different things affecting people. It gives me time to appreciate what privileges I have and what I can do to be more aware of others. That's cool. I actually kind of don't believe that a bit. I don't know, it feels a bit more textbook, but hey, I'll take you at face value. I'll take it. A whole month of seeing and hearing people everywhere about how black equals greatness and all others do not. It is racism, and anyone who cannot see it that it is just as blind as the racist MAGA crowd. Yeah, I can understand why people's hate in the commercialization of Black History Month and how people only seem to care about everyone's struggles in February without acknowledging others people's differences and experiences, in my opinion, just makes you ignorant. I like learning about other people's lives and worldviews that aren't my own. I feel it gives you an opportunity to better yourself as a person. Yeah, those are the kind of posts or replies you kind of get to that. So you can definitely see some people don't care about it, or some people are a bit more on the rocks for it. But that is essentially how some people feel. Now, talking all about this, I think I want to hear from one man who really kind of understands it, and he explains it quite well.
Black History Month you find
Ridiculous.
why?
You're going to relegate my history to a month?
Oh, come on.
What do you do with yours? Which month is White History Month? No, well, come on.
I'm Jewish.
Okay, which month is Jewish History Month?
There isn't one.
Oh, why not?
Yeah.
Do you want one?
No.
I don't either. I don't want a Black History Month. Black history is American history.
How are we going to get rid of racism until...
Stop talking about it. I'm going to stop calling you a white man.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man.
After seeing it, I completely agree. But one little thing I have about that, I don't think the world is, or even America, or even the world itself, is ready for that kind of thing just yet. I would love to just say, yeah, 100%, we can do that. I think he knows as well, but there's still a lot of, subconscious racism there. There's still people who don't want to do that, accept it. I mean, hell, the fact we got Trump is proof enough that people aren't ready nor smart enough to do so. Let's move on to this small little survey that I sent out to about 15 people of diverse age group, being from my generation, Gen Z, be from like boomers or millennials, Gen X, all around, honestly. So now I want to talk about my Black History Month questionnaire. For one, we had one that was under 18. It was 13 people. All right, going through some of the questionnaire, or people who answered the questionnaire, we're going to talk about the question of, in your own words, what does Black History Month mean to you? One person said, Black History Month, to me, means taking a moment to reflect on and celebrate the achievements, culture, and contributions of Black people throughout history. It represents a powerful opportunity to honor those who have paved the way, both known and unsung despite enduring adversity and systematic oppression. For me, the celebration goes beyond just 1 month. Which, if I did my research, I also agree. If I did my research, I wouldn't know about that. But after I've done my research, I can heavily agree. Now, this person, he goes from my same age group as well. His idea, or Black History Month, means to him a month of just celebrating history of Black people and culture. You can see it kind of different in an answer, like heavily different, just because they're in different age group or different experiences in life. What are your thoughts on how Black History Month is celebrated or recognized? Is there anything you would change or improve? And here's what he said. No, I think it does what it needs to do. I'd be worried that shoving it down people's throats would make it harder to acknowledge and love. I felt the exact same way, especially before I did all my research and stuff like that. A lot of people hate, me included, hate when you try to shove different things down their throat. Pause. But if you try to force someone to acknowledge, love something, it's going to make them push it away. Because you're trying to push your own values onto them. Which, you don't want that to happen. You want to live your own life. You don't want people to tell you how to live your life, right? Now let's go into some of the other questions, how other people answer this. Same question. There's definitely room for improvement, but as long as racism exists, many will not see the importance. Once again, great, because I agree, like I said earlier, and how kind of Morgan Freeman says. It's something that needs to be acknowledged first before we can try to move on. Looking at all the replies from this, I'm seeing a lot of people are saying it's just a matter of education. People are not getting the education learning this when they should be, and it's all dependent on them to learn it. I mean, think about it. When you were in school, or if you're still in school, if it's something that you're not interested in, do you really particularly care? Or are you actually actively trying to learn this kind of thing? I don't think so. A lot of people aren't. That's the kind of thing that kind of needs to be taught as you're young and growing up. But a lot of people are trying to ban this kind of learning right now. In fact, there are people trying to take down monuments to racism. To that, I say don't do it. Like this one right here, for example. They want to tear it down because, it's a monument of racism, but we shouldn't do that. It's like trying to erase history, trying to say, oh, we were never racist in the first place. It doesn't make, I can see why people want to take it down, but that would honestly be counterproductive and honestly hurt them in the long run. You're erasing all their evidence, quote unquote, of the racism, showing that like it didn't exist, it never happened. Acknowledging that it never happened, which I don't think we should be done. I think it should be here and it should be a lesson. It should stand there as a lesson to be better and to remind ourselves of what happened. We cannot forget. That's how history repeats itself. Who knows, in the future it may just repeat itself with our orange man leading us right now. But that's my 2 cents on that. looking over and testing people's general knowledge, I'm seeing what they mention first, like important figures when it comes to Black History Month. What are the figures? And would you believe me if I said that MLK and Malcolm X are in nearly every single person's replies? Of course, we have your Marcus Garvey, Benjamin Banker, Rosa Parks. I kind of, I don't want to say basic as in, basic person. I don't want that to be the thought. But there are so many different people, but yet we don't learn about them. Like, back in my Africa trip. Oh my God, I learned so much about self-discovery right then and there. I'll flash, a couple pictures on screens. We mostly went to the slave castles for it. Oh my God. It's honestly such a different type of feeling compared to hearing about it. It's like, oh yeah, I know slavery, I know about it, but seeing the conditions these people went through, it was actually sickening, honestly. Like, you could not believe, like, people did these to other people just because they thought they were superior. I'm flashing some images on screen. These are old, very old slave castles, whatever. But there is a mass difference between learning about it and seeing it. The conditions, like the door no return, like being locked in a... But seeing it in person really just... It's frightening, man. That's what kind of sickening things that these people are capable of. But other than that, here's some... Let's bring back the joy back factor a little bit. Here's some cool little images from my trip.
Oh, you weren't kidding about it being wobbly. Hey, you didn't say nothing about that. Oh yeah, but she really wasn't kidding. I'm really trying not to wobble right now. Oh, that looks beautiful. But I get what they mean. I can see why people would be scared. This is indeed kind of crazy.
In conclusion, I feel that Black History Month is terribly underrepresented. It has so much more value and can do so much more for people of all races, of all ethnicities, if we just treat it right. Instead of just treating it like some political scheme or a money-making cash grab, like a lot of things are nowadays. And I think that if we can finally lock in, if I were to use nowadays, slang, I think we can do so much more as a society, but until we can start recognizing each and everyone's greatness within ourselves, instead of just the general like, oh, you're black, you must be good at sports. Oh, you're black, you must be great at rapping. I think we can do so much more if we were to do that. This ideal seems like such a faraway thing. You would think we'd be able to do it, considering how quote unquote advanced we are. Even then, I feel like as more time progresses, the dumber we get as humanity, as we just start to let things pass by. So me personally, this project has inspired me to learn more and expand my horizons of what I once done. So I hope this kind of helped you learn a bit, and it kind of makes you want to explore it yourself too. Alright, that's about it, guys. Thank you for watching.